Hi guys, welcome to my channel. You know how long I want to have my own channel? But anyways, welcome to my channel. It's called Simply Michelle. You know, on this channel we'll be sharing positivity and storytelling, and we have a lot of fun. This has originated from my childhood. I've always loved to watch movies, and I've also loved to read. And for those who love to play Dolly House as a child back then would understand. And I was just so fascinated with the whole movies and the storyline and reading books and how it's able to take you to another place and put you into a good mood and all of those things. So now all the stories I will be sharing, it's all originally written or more. So don't be afraid, as you tune in, share what you think about the stories, share with me, and come along, be a part of the family, and let us just build a community and have a good time, right? So here, just be free to be truthful, because if there's anything, I love the truth, but nevertheless, on the good vibes around here. So let's get into it. This story is called The Promise. Ben dashed under the fence and ripped his pants. He felt the sting where his pants was torn, but the news of his mom passing has left him numb. The pain in his heart has distracted him from noticing the blood running down his ankle where the barbed wire has pierced his leg. He picked up speed as he turned the corner and was able to see his home in view. He made a sudden stop at his gate, knelt to the ground, caught his breath, and yelled, "No!" Ben was born in a poor family that had lots of struggles and health issues. As a result, he lost both his parents at the age of 7 years old to leukemia due to the negligence to their health, overworked, getting up early before dawn to labor. Can you imagine losing both your parents at 7 years old? Ben was devastated. His only living relative was his father's sister, Aunt Gwen. She was an elderly woman that was ill and could hardly take care of herself. However, she took Ben in. But she did not have the slightest idea of how to deal with an angry, defiant child. Therefore, Ben spent most of his time roaming the streets of the village. He would regularly be edgy, shouting, swearing at others, kicking any and everything in his path. His aunt was poor, but she was a proud woman. Even though she knew Ben was more than she could handle, she refused to honor the request of her late sister-in-law. Aunt Gwen sat and stared at the letter in her hands that she had read repeatedly since the passing of her brother and his wife. With tears in her eyes, she knew it was time to make the decision she had long ignored. 20 minutes later, Aunt Gwen stepped into Ben's room and sat on the edge of his bed where he laid. "Boy, I know you're not sleeping. Sit up. We need to have a talk," said Aunt Gwen. With not one word, Ben pulled himself to the head of the bed leaned against the wall, with his arms folded to his chest and curiosity on his face. Aunt Gwen looked Ben in the eyes and continued to speak. I am an old woman. I'm weak and tired. It has been 12 months since we have lost your parents, and you need structure I'm not able to give. Your mother was a smart woman. God bless her soul. This is a letter of her last request for you to be raised by Mrs. Jones, her best and dearest friend, until your 18th birthday, should you desire to be on your own before your 21st birthday. At this stage, I no longer have a choice in the matter. Therefore, I am asking you not to give this good woman any problem. She has been nice enough to handle your mom's affair, and she has been good to our family over the years, even though she is from high society with great respect near and far. She has never looked down on us as laborers, but received us as family. So, Ben, I know you are only 8 years old, and I have no right asking this of you. Aunt Gwen reached over, took Ben's hand into hers. With tears in her eyes, she said, I do understand exactly what you are going through. I was only 2 years older than you are when both your father and I lost our parents. Your dad was 12 years and I was 10. With all things considered, you are handling it all much better than we did. And I am proud and hopeful for the man you have the potential to become. You may not see or understand it now, my child, what I am saying, but I believe with everything inside me, you are the one that will break this curse from over our family. Just work hard, take full advantage of every opportunity while you wait on your season, said Aunt Gwen. Tears began to stream down Ben's face like a roaring river. His aunt pulled him into her arms and hugged him. She whispered, I love you, child, and you are going to be okay. Just promise yourself never to die in this old God-forsaken village, old and poor. You have got what it takes to win, said Aunt Gwen. Ben took a pause, then looked into her eyes and said, I do promise, Auntie. I do promise, repeated Ben. Then he hugged his aunt tightly and wept in her arms. 10 years later. 10 years later, Aunt Gwen has passed and was laid to rest. It was a bright and sunny morning, and surely the month of August did not disappoint. Several weeks went by since the funeral, so Ben went down to the river, took off his clothes, and dived in. The river was a place of refuge for Ben, where he'd take his early morning swims and sometimes hide away to read. He loved books. As a result, over the years, the Joneses got him a wide range of medical books he enjoyed. Suddenly, a rush of peace filled Ben's heart. He looked at how far he has come. It was time to put his dreams into action, Ben thought to himself. The promise he made to his aunt has never left his mind. Ben's dream to become a doctor has become his passion. So he decided to study harder and be more involved in the clinic, like Mr. and Mr. Jones have asked him to. The Joneses has been a tower of strength for Ben. Ben thought to himself, Mrs. Jones is a dear friend to my mother. For her to make such a promise to take care for someone like me, she held that promise dear to her heart and treats me as her own. Even as a young child, she was at my side, always there to wipe my tears, held my hand through those sleepless nights and many counseling sessions. She has watched me grow into a strong, intelligent young man that I am today. Even though Mr. and Mrs. Jones have no children of their own, they chose to love me, and every opportunity that they were given, they encouraged me to dream bigger. Although the Joneses were well off, some would consider to be filthy rich, they taught me to work for what I wanted, because nothing in this life was for free. And I appreciate that a whole lot, because in a hard working man's life, there will be seasons. And in the season that the Lord had provided, he should spread his wings and made use of every opportunity, said Ben. Mr. Jones had not taught Ben anything he himself has not practiced. And those practices over the years have led him to become a successful and proud owner of many real estates in the city and also his very own clinic. He is a good man. He have oftentimes give back to the villagers his time and support. His hope is that Ben would one day take over his clinic. However, he will not impose it on Ben. Mr. Jones is hoping for it to be a mutual understanding. Even though he have always dreamt of having a son of his own, but for whatever reason, the Lord had found it fit that that wasn't in the cards for him. Mr. Jones found it joyful and peace in knowing that they had been under their roof to take care of him, to groom him, and help him to find himself in this world. 3 years later, Ben was pacing the halls. It will be his 21st birthday in the next 24 hours. Whenever he began to feel impatient, he could hear the voice of Mrs. Jones in his head speaking. Patience is a virtue, son. It would do you good to exercise it, she would say. And she would say, with a known grin on her face. Soon, Ben realized he was standing in front of Mrs. Jones in the kitchen. "Good morning, Auntie," said Ben. "When will you get used to calling me Mom?" said Mrs. Jones. Ben kissed her cheeks and twirled her around in a dance, then rushed straight to the freshly made pancakes waiting for him. Mrs. Jones was a very smart and wise woman. She knew there was something bothering Ben. She heard him pacing the halls in the way of the early morning, and he seemed edgy just a few minutes ago, she thought to herself. There is no way she can keep putting off talking to Ben. His parents have left something important for him, and she needs to let Ben know. However, this is something over the years Mrs. Jones have been trying and dreading his 21st birthday to give him this news. Now guys, this is where We are going to leave you for now. However, stay tuned to hear what is this that is so important that Mrs. Jones have to say to Ben. What is it that he's dreading? Why is he dreading it? And how come she was able to keep this away from Ben for so long? So stay tuned for the next video where you'll find out all the answers to these questions. And you have made it so far in the video, so remember to thumbs up, share, and also if you have not yet decided to subscribe, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Alright, so thank you guys once more for being here. Love you. And remember, my favorite verse said, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. So whatever it is you're facing today, bear in mind that you are not doing it on your own, but the Lord himself have given you the strength to do whatever it is that he have placed in your power to do.